In a reimagined world where giant ballistic missiles 1,000 times the size of humans suddenly fall from the sky, chaos erupts instantly. The sky darkens with their monstrous shadows, casting doubt and fear over every city and village. People scramble for cover as the ground trembles beneath their feet. Deafening explosions echo across the continents. The initial impact kills millions instantly. The death toll rises to over 50 million in the first few hours. Civilizations crumble as entire cities are reduced to smoldering ruins, skyscrapers turn to rubble in seconds. The damage is unprecedented, with vast landscapes flattened and coastlines forever altered by massive craters. Scientists warn that the fallout could contaminate water supplies and make vast areas uninhabitable for generations. Religious groups interpret the event as divine punishment, while governments scramble to respond. Social order disintegrates as panic spreads and lawlessness overtakes many regions. In underground bunkers and hidden shelters, a resilient few manage to survive the initial onslaught. They witness the destruction through tiny screens, helpless to stop the catastrophe unfolding above. The global economy collapses within hours as stock markets crash, currencies become worthless and trade halts. Food supplies dwindle rapidly as transportation routes are obliterated and farms are destroyed. Humanity faces a new reality, survival in a devastated world where every day is a fight against nature and despair. Some rebuild in the shadows, creating underground communities that strive to preserve what remains of civilization. Scientists race against time to develop defenses against future missile attacks, but the threat is relentless. The extraterrestrial event triggers a wave of conspiracy theories, with some claiming the missiles are extraterrestrial weapons. Media outlets worldwide broadcast footage of the destruction, viral images spreading fear and awe. People worldwide watch in horror as the world's major landmarks are vaporized before their eyes. Reluctantly, humanity begins to adapt, learning to live with the constant threat hanging over them. They develop new technologies for early missile detection and global warning systems. Communities reinforce their structures, turning to innovative ways to protect themselves from future assaults. A new form of global cooperation emerges, driven by the urgency of survival and the shared human plight. Despite the despair, acts of heroism and kindness surface among the ruins, shining hope amid darkness. A young engineer named Maya leads a team to build underground bunkers capable of withstanding future impacts. Her determination inspires others, and soon, underground cities start to emerge across the continents. Survivors exchange stories of loss, resilience, and hope, creating a new mythos of human endurance. As decades pass, the world slowly begins to recover from the catastrophic blows. New generations grow up in this transformed universe, aware of the fragility of their world. They realize that survival depended not just on technology, but also on faith, unity, and innovation. The memory of the giant missiles remains a haunting reminder of how close humanity came to extinction. Yet, amidst devastation, humans find a renewed sense of purpose to rebuild and adapt. Lessons learned from these events shape a cautious yet resilient civilization moving forward. They understand that when confronted with cosmic or terrestrial wrath, unity is the key to survival. In this reimagined world, survival became a testament to human resilience and ingenuity. And so, from ashes and ruin, humanity began to forge a new era, hope flickering like a distant star. Through tragedy and loss, they discovered the true meaning of strength and persistence. The story of survival spread across generations, inspiring future inhabitants to cherish their fragile world. Though scarred and battered, humanity refused to surrender, forging a future born from the ashes of destruction. In this new age, every surviving soul knew that their existence was a testament to hope against insurmountable odds. And as they looked up at the sky, they remembered the day giants fell, from the obliterating missiles to the rebirth of spirit. This was their story, one of devastation, resilience, and unstoppable human will to survive. In a reimagined world where colossal nuclear missiles, each 1,000 times larger than a human, suddenly attacked Earth, chaos erupted like never before. The sky was filled with flashes of blinding light as these monstrous nukes tore through the atmosphere, leaving destruction in their wake. Cities were reduced to rubble within seconds, entire civilizations wiped out in a catastrophic blink. The death toll skyrocketed, with estimates reaching over 500 million people lost in just the first week of the invasion. Survivors hide in underground bunkers, trembling as the skies glow with nuclear fury and the ground trembles beneath their feet. The damage was unimaginable, with landscapes transformed into barren wastelands, oceans boiling and ecosystems collapsing instantly. In this dire scenario, the question arises, who would win in a war between these gigantic nukes and human resistance today? Humans, armed with advanced technology, nuclear defenses, and strategic firepower, would mount a desperate counterattack. However, the size and power of these missiles would make conventional defenses nearly useless against their sheer magnitude. The military's best efforts might slow them down, but not stop them entirely, given the overwhelming destructive force. A fierce battle would ensue in the skies and on the ground, with humanity fighting to preserve what remains of civilization. But the nuke's size and destructive radius mean entire continents could be obliterated with a single strike. The global infrastructure would collapse, and governments might fall into chaos amidst the relentless attacks. The human war effort would suffer massive losses. Millions would perish defending or attempting to evacuate key areas. Despite their ingenuity, humanity's weapons would struggle against such an unstoppable force, leading to widespread despair. The viral tone of this catastrophe would spread worldwide, with images and videos of devastation flooding social media overnight. People would share haunting footage of cities turned to ash, nuclear mushroom clouds towering into the atmosphere. The world's collective consciousness would be overwhelmed by grief, fear, and rage, demanding answers and salvation. Scientists and military strategists would frantically attempt new methods to combat these nuclear giants, but success seemed unlikely. Some envisioned that advanced AI or extraterrestrial intervention could tip the scales, but in this brutal scenario, hope was slim. As days turned into weeks, the death toll might surpass 1 billion, with countless civilizations eradicated irreversibly. The environment would be wrecked, with the atmosphere thick with radioactive fallout, making Earth uninhabitable for centuries. Yet, amid the destruction, a flicker of resilience might emerge from pockets of humanity clinging to survival. Underground communities could develop new ways to sustain life, learning to coexist with the radioactive landscape. A new world order might eventually form, a fragile remnant of what once was, rebuilt from the ashes of total destruction. In the end, the war between these giant nukes and humans would be a battle of survival versus annihilation. The nuke's size and power would initially seem unbeatable, but human ingenuity and adaptability could eventually find a way. Perhaps through unity and innovation, future generations might learn to harness the remaining resources for renewal. Or, tragically, they might remain shadows of the past, a stark reminder of humanity's vulnerability in the face of such monsters. The story of this apocalyptic clash would serve as a viral warning. What happens when creation exceeds its bounds? This tale would ignite debates worldwide, questioning our tech's limits and ethical responsibilities amid chaos. In every corner of the ruined Earth, stories of heroism and loss would be passed down, shaping new myths of resilience. Despite the devastation, hope could ignite a new dawn, an entirely reimagined world reborn from the ashes of nuclear giants. Humans might learn new ways to defend, adapt, and eventually thrive, even after witnessing the worst catastrophe imaginable. In this reimagined universe, survival depended not just on strength, but on unity, innovation, and indomitable spirit. The war of giants versus humans would be remembered as the ultimate test of resilience against cosmic-scale destruction. And as the planet slowly heals, the story of this viral apocalypse would warn future generations to cherish peace and prevent such horrors.